Jai Shri Radhe, Sab Vaishnavanko Jai Shri Krishna. Day 43 of the readings of the stories of the 252 Vaishnav disciples of Sri Gosaiji. And today we're starting and also concluding Varta 21, the story of one penniless Patel from Gujarat who presented Sri Gosaiji with a garland, Bhav Prakash. This Patel is a devotee of a Rajasi disposition. In the eternal Leela, his name is Malini, who manifests from Prema Manjari and is thus a form of her divine loving sentiment. He was born in Gujarat to a Kunabi Patel family. His father died just after he was born. His mother also died when he was 15. There was no money at home at all. He had to go to work to earn a living. Once Sri Gosaiji left on a trip to Dwarkanachi, he passed through this Patel's village on the way. He set up camp there on the side of the lake. At that time, Patel was digging nearby. He had the sight of Sri Gosaiji. He immediately thought, he seems to be a great personality, therefore I should take shelter in him. He went and requested Sri Gosaiji to accept him as a disciple, for he had come to take refuge in him. Seeing his humility, Sri Gosaiji did grace him by making him his disciple. He initiated him with the Lord's name and Brahma Sambandh. Many other divine souls also came to take Sri Gosaiji's shelter, and he initiated them all before proceeding to Dwarka. He stayed in Dwarka for some days before returning to Adel. Part 1. Once, quite some time after Patel had taken initiation, a group of Vaishnavas travelled from Gujarat to visit Srinathji and Sri Gosaiji. This Patel went with them when they went through the village on the way to Gokul. All the other people in the group had money with them for their expenses, but Patel had none. However, he really wanted to go and have the sight of Sri Gosaiji. With this one goal in mind, he left his home. He thought to himself, if a Vaishnava offers me prasad, I shall eat it, otherwise I shall beg to survive. And he did. After many days of travelling, the group arrived in Natadwara. They were all overjoyed to have the holy sight of Srinathji. It was the time for the evening ceremony of waving the lights. The group set up camp near Rudrakund, cooked and partook of prasad. Then they all started opening up their bundles to take out money, as much as they could afford, for their donations. They all kept them ready, saying, tomorrow when we go to Sri Gosaiji, we will not want to be fiddling with our bundles, so let's keep them ready. Bhav Prakash, if one goes to see the Lord or their Guru, then one should never go empty-handed. Part 1 continued. Patel thought to himself, they all have their donations ready, but I have nothing. What can I give to Sri Gosaiji? I cannot possibly take a loan, as I could never pay it back. He is the Lord himself, and he already knows my situation. Thinking like this, he could not sleep all night. All the Vaishnavas got up early and started out. Patel was still deep in thought as he awoke. On the way, he came across a garden. There were many jasmine flowers blossoming there. He had a piece of cloth with him, and he asked the gardener to fill it with as many flowers as he would need to make a garland to give to his guru. The gardener gave him back the cloth. Seeing that Patel was very humble, he said to him, make a garland with as many flowers as you need. Help yourself. Patel was so happy and prepared a lovely garland, then thanked the gardener and left. With the garland in his hand, he happily proceeded, contemplating all sorts of other delightful ways to please his guru. He thought, all the Vaishnavas will be giving Sri Gosaiji lots of donations, and I will place this garland around Sri Gosaiji's neck. Sri Gosaiji will be very pleased with it. However, now I should keep up with the group. Meditating on Sri Gosaiji's lotus feet, Patel walked along on his way. Sri Gosaiji could not bear the intensity of Patel's burning devotion. That morning he went early to complete Srinathji's adornment. Then he mounted his horse. There were 3 or 4 Vaishnavas with him at the time, and he announced to them, there is a group coming from Gujarat. Amongst them there is one penniless Patel. He has made a beautiful flower garland for me and is bringing it to present to me. He is behind everyone else in that group, but I wish to accept his garland before any of the others' donations. No one else should offer anything to me before he does. Saying this, he sped off on his horse. At Patel's end, he was worrying about the garland withering in the heat. Sri Gosaiji could not bear his agony. He rode as fast as he could. He came across the group on the way. They all bowed down to him. They all pleaded, "Oh Maharaj, please stop your horse for a while, and we will offer you our donations." The Vaishnavas who were with Sri Gosaiji said to the group, "This horse will only stop when it catches up with Patel, who has prepared a garland and who is training behind you all." Then they set off again. Sri Gosaiji rode as fast as he could to get to Patel. Patel caught sight of Sri Gosaiji, and when he came near, he put the garland around Sri Gosaiji's neck and bowed down to him. As he did so, he fell unconscious. Bhav Prakash. Why? He became overwhelmed with bliss of Sri Gosaiji's form. He forgot his body. Part 1 continued. Sri Gosaiji dismounted from the horse and put his hand on Patel's head. He uttered the 8-syllable mantra in his ear, and then Patel regained consciousness. Sri Gosaiji said to him, "O Patel, I have come all the way from Gokul to receive this garland of yours. You wanted to merge yourself into my feet, but then what would all these Vaishnavas have to say? You have more seva to do in the future." He said this to him over and over again, and also kept praising the garland. Patel humbly told him all his news and then said, "O Maharaj, you are the Lord himself. You are kind to the poor and an ocean of compassion. You uplift the fallen, and truly an embodied soul can never be capable of adequately praising you. You accept the seva of your followers." As this went on, the whole group of the other Vaishnavas ran and caught up with them. They bowed down and humbly made their offerings. They were all astounded to see the situation there. Then Sri Gosaiji left there, bathed, went up to the temple and made the midday offerings. He performed the midday waving of light ceremony, Aarti, and then went to sit in his bed. He called that Patel who had made the garland close to him. The Vaishnavas were all amazed to see just how merciful Sri Gosaiji is. Then Sri Gosaiji put Patel in charge of the flower garland making in the temple. Thus concludes Varta 21, the story of the penniless Patel from Gujarat, who was the recipient of Sri Gosaiji's great grace and was an accomplished Vaishnava. There is no end to his tale. Sab Vaishnavan ko Sadar Saprem. Jai Shri Krishna. Sri Gosaiji ki jai. Aaj ke Anand ki jai. And we will regroup tomorrow with Varta 22. Jai Jai Shri Radhe Ji.